Welcome back. It's Maxine, your spiritual astrologer, sharing astrology in a more empowering and soul-centered way. And if you're wondering what the differences are between planets versus zodiac signs versus houses in astrology and in your birth chart and how to blend them all together, what the different roles are, then you have stumbled across the right video, because I'm going to walk you through what the differences are between planets, signs, and houses, because some of them even seem very similar and there are affinities there. For example, Mercury has a lot in common with the third house and with Gemini, but it's important to know their different roles that they play, the building blocks and how to string them together. As an astrology teacher, I know, because I've seen student after student tell me that they can get stuck in this. It can feel like you're looking at a planet, sign, and house, and it all just starts to turn into a pile of mush where you can get lost between planet, sign, and house. And so that's not even getting into aspects and all of this, but you got to start somewhere. So this is a really good place to be if you want to get that down, if you want to just understand those planet, sign, house differences, and then you're in a better place to blend it all together. So we'll start with planets, then go to zodiac signs, and then the houses, what I like to call the three main ingredients of any astrology chart placement. Okay, so let's get into it. The first one we'll look at are the planets. Now, the planets in astrology, we need to start there because we're talking about the what. We're talking about the character. And each character, each planet, has a different role to play. So we have all of the same planets in our chart, right? If you think of the 10 main planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, those are the main 10. And yes, I know some aren't planets, but for ease of reference in astrology, we still call the moon a planet, for example. So if you were wondering, but the planets are showing us these 10 different pieces of who you are, of your psyche, of your life, of different urges, different needs you have. Each of them plays a different role. So if we're looking at Mercury, that's how you communicate. If we look to Mars, that's how you assert yourself. Each of them has a different role. And I do have a totally free astrology basics guide for you where I actually walk you through the specifics of every planet, every sign, every house. So if you want that, it's an incredible resource. Again, totally free. So you can go to MaxineLuthia.com to get that. But for each of those planets, they have different urges, different needs, different desires that want to be fulfilled. But how that gets fulfilled is through where they're placed by sign and house. Okay, so we'll get to that next, but just to kind of keep that in your mind, the planets are asking the question, what? What urge, what part of your psyche, what lesson? So just to pause there, we actually can take those 10 main planets and split them in two, where we have the inner planets and the outer planets. Essentially, those inner 5 planets of the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, those 5 are much more personal to you. They change much more quickly from sign to sign because of their orbit, and so they really are these individualized factors in your chart that show up very obviously in your personality. Whereas when we're looking to those 5 outer planets of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, then we're looking to planets that stay in a sign for years at a time, even decades. The further out we get, they stay longer in a sign. But even so, don't make the mistake of discounting their importance. I find oftentimes you'll hear that they're just generational planets and you don't have to think about their impact on that individual. But the soul knows those outer planets very intimately. Those outer planets speak to karmic residue carried over into this lifetime, lessons you're here to learn at that soul level. So I talk so much about this inside of Spiritual Astrology School if you are ever interested in joining. But yeah, those outer planets are really important. You feel those just as much as the inner planets, just in different ways. So when we're looking at the planets in astrology, we're looking to those 10 main planets or any other celestial body we want to bring in here, maybe Chiron, maybe Juno, whatever that is. But you're looking to see what urge, what need, what part of your psyche, what part of life, what are we dealing with here? The planet always answers what, that question of what part of yourself are we looking into, investigating? in that reading or whatever that might be. So that's really important. The planets each have their own roles that need to be satisfied. And how that gets satisfied brings us to the zodiac signs and then houses. So everyone has the same planets in their birth chart, the same desires, the same needs at some level that need to be checked off, that need to be satisfied. However, how important those are or how they get met or what that looks like, how they express themselves, that lesson, how that shows up for that individual, that is the zodiac sign. Whereas the planet tells us the what, the zodiac sign answers the how. How does that need by planet get fulfilled? So when we're looking to, for example, the moon, which speaks to nurturing, we're looking to see, okay, everyone has the need to be nurtured, that's the moon, but what sign does it fall in? What of those zodiac signs, or as I like to say, zodiac flavors, are we looking at here? What's going to satisfy this person? How are they going to feel nurtured versus this person versus that person? Everyone has different nurturing needs. How that gets fulfilled depends on what of those 12 zodiac energies or flavors the moon falls in. So you might have someone with a sensitive Pisces moon, or you might have someone with a more independent Aquarius moon, and those nurturing needs are going to look very different based on the sign that the moon falls in. And it's the same with Venus, think of it kind of as the love language. Okay, everyone wants to feel loved, and they always want to relate to others. That's part of the human experience. But what zodiac sign, which of those 12 zodiac signs does Venus fall in for that soul? And how does that get reflected in how they show up in relationships? And, on and on for all of the planets. That just depends on what of those planets you want to look at, what you want to investigate there. And then the zodiac sign it falls in will be that first layer of flavoring that planet. And really what we're talking about with the 12 zodiac signs is energy. And energy makes up everything that there is in the universe. So we have these 12 zodiac signs that are telling us 12 unique energetic patterns or archetypes. Each planet, when it's put in a zodiac sign, it has a different flavor. It has a different personality. It has a different way of expressing itself or having that specific need by planet satisfied. The planet shows you what part of the psyche, what role we're looking at, what need, what desire, and then the zodiac sign it falls in, that's the energy behind it that animates the planet, that gets filtered through the planet. And all of the planets have to fall in one of those 12 zodiac signs. So that's telling you what is the flavor of this particular planet. How does that planet's needs get satisfied? What is that part of the psyche like, depending on which of the 12 zodiac signs it falls in? So if we're looking at Mercury, for example, again, that's the what, that's the planet. Here we're looking at that role of communication. So, okay, everyone wants to communicate, everyone does, but how do they go about that? That's the sign. That's the flavor, the energy behind the planet. And I have my Mercury in Aries. So the way I communicate, the planet, is flavored by this Aries energy of being very bold and passionate and sometimes impatient and just really quick with their words and the way that they think. That is my Mercury Aries combination. I'm very activating in the way that I speak, but if someone had Mercury, their way of communicating in Cancer, they might be more nurturing in how they speak. Or if they have Mercury in Capricorn, they're much more reserved, pragmatic about it. So it depends on what zodiac sign is that planet placed in. That's going to show you how do they express themselves in this case, or how does that need of the planet get fulfilled? What does that look like? That's the zodiac flavor, the zodiac sign. Which of those 12 zodiac flavors is being expressed through that planet? And keep in mind that with every zodiac sign, it's potential, but how you choose to express that energy through the planet, that planet sign combo, you have choice there. And that's part of seeing astrology from a spiritual lens, where you're seeing that your soul is here to evolve and grow, and you have choice in how you express these planets. And you can change that at any time. Often when people find astrology and dive into your chart more, you're seeing, oh, you've been expressing some of the shadows, rather than the strengths. Your soul is here to grow and evolve, and If you don't like how you're expressing a planet, then you can change that. You get to shape that. You get to have that choice of how you express it. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the 12 houses in astrology. And whereas the zodiac signs are much more abstract, the houses are concrete, they are practical, they really tell it like it is. There are 12 houses, and quite simply, if you're taking notes, the houses are the area of life experience that we're looking at. And this is what that looks like in case you're new to the houses, but essentially it looks like 12 slices of a pizza in your birth chart. And you can see I use whole sign houses, so they're going to be 12 equal slices that match up with the signs exactly. And if you want a tutorial for that, I'll link that below for you. But when you're looking at the houses, each of those 12 houses represent different areas of your life or different areas of your life experience. And if you look to the center of the chart, you will see each of those houses labeled 1 through 12, but the houses show you those different areas of life. It shows you where you need to focus and manifest and express that planet sign combination. So the houses answer the question, where? Essentially, if you think of any area of life, you can categorize it into one of these 12 houses and put it in one of those slices of your chart. So for example, if we look at your career, that would be the 10th house. If we look at your finances, you'd look to the 2nd house. The 7th house is close partnerships, marriage. If you want to know about your family, that would be the 4th house, on and on and on. So everyone has all 12 of those houses in their chart. And where that comes from is the houses are actually basically chunks of sky, to put it very brutally. So both above and below the horizon, but you're seeing where those planets were on the day of your birth, down to what specific minute you were born in. That's why it's so important to know the exact time that you're born, because the houses really are that individualized. They change very quickly throughout a single day. Depending upon that exact time you're born, that can shift your rising sign and thus all of your houses and what signs and planets fall in them in your chart. So you could have the same planets as someone by sign, but they could be in completely different houses, and that does make such a difference. Why? Because the houses are showing you where do you need to express that planet sign combination. So that's what we're looking at with the houses, but they correspond to and represent these different areas of your life experience. And they're showing you where you want to focus and manifest and express these planet sign combinations that you have. So where's the best place to express that energy? Where do you see it most obviously show up for you in your life? Again, the houses are just much more concrete in telling you what are we looking at here. They're much more, again, in your face, as I like to say, because the zodiac signs are much more, okay, you could express this in a multitude of ways, whereas the houses are like, we're looking at the 6th house, it's work, it's health, it's, there's a limited number of ways that can be expressed. So in review, we have planets, signs, and houses. The planets are the what, the signs are the how, the houses are the where. So the planet is what need, what urge, what part of the psyche, what are we looking at? What needs to be satisfied or expressed? Then we have the sign, which is, again, the energy behind it, behind the planet, being filtered through. So how is that flavored? How is that showing up? How is that expressed? And then we have the house, the where. Where is this showing up in your life? Where are you being called to express this energy, to focus this energy? Where is that going to manifest in that way? So those are the key differences of the different functions, really, of planets versus zodiac signs versus houses in astrology. And you want to start there when you're looking at any placement in your birth chart. And I say start because that really is the building blocks. That's where you want to begin. But of course, there's more. There's a lot more to synthesize, but that comes later. This is really something you want to make sure you have down. If you want my free guide to help you understand each of the planets, signs, and houses, specifically getting into that definitely check that out on MaxineLuthia.com. And of course, if you want support in learning how to blend this all together to really feel confident reading astrology charts in a spiritual way, then I'd love to have you join Spiritual Astrology School if ever you feel the call for that. That's my 6-month-long intensive comprehensive program to read birth charts, transits, and more. And really, again, learn how to put all the pieces together. Our next semester starts up in September. The doors will open, so if you're listening to this before then, join the waitlist. And again, that's on my website, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope this lesson was helpful for you on planets, signs, and houses. And if it was, please let me know. I'd love to hear that. And if you have any questions too, I'm happy to answer those. So let me know in the comments. And just remember, I know there can be so many moving parts and it can feel frustrating learning astrology sometimes, but as long as you keep at it, it's so worth it on the other side when you're able to just look at a chart and it just speaks to you and you're able to get that real-time guidance and you just have that knowledge at your fingertips, that wisdom. So just a little pep talk for you because I know a lot of people can feel very overwhelmed by it, but on the other side, when you just learn it and you can look at a chart and it all comes to life, it's so worth the effort that you're putting in now. So just wanted to share that with you. But thanks so much for being here, for learning astrology with me. I'm just so grateful to be part of your astrology journey in whatever way, and I hope these videos are helpful. So thanks so much and sending many blessings your way. Bye.